Welcome to the Miracles and Wellness Podcast. My name is Clarissa Booker, and I'm your life and wellness coach, and also a beauty expert. I am so happy and grateful that you are here. We'll be discussing all things health and wellness, feeling empowered, and loving yourself more while connecting your mind, body, and spirit. Always know that you can manifest whatever you desire for your greater well-being in your life, because I believe that miracles are for everyone. Hello there, friends. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So today we're going to talk a little bit about routines, okay? Because we want to have a good routine. People always talk about what's your morning routine, how do you do your day. Everybody's days are structured a little bit different, right? And so since we're about to hit 2022, we're going to try to set you up for success. Just get that lifestyle on the way, doing all the things we need to do, right? Because we're all about having that wellness be a top priority. And you don't have to go all in on everything. You could just start with one thing, okay? So just subtle shifts every day can bring on changes, all right? And just making it joyful and just feeling good about what you're doing. So you don't, at the same time, just doing something just because you see somebody else doing it. Because just because it's working for them doesn't automatically mean it's going to work for you, right? You just have to know what you find joy in, what makes you feel good. You might have some things that overlap with somebody. So always take everything as a suggestion. Just be curious, right? Don't judge yourself. Don't judge others, because we're all unique and individuals. And that's absolutely wonderful. And so just let things come to you, right? It just makes it easier. Because we want to have good rituals, any habits, and these behaviors, and we just keep doing things over and over. Then you just wake up and you're just happy, and it's just a part of your schedule, right? It's just a part of your everyday routine. And so this will also help you relieve stress. Sometimes it's very easy for us to get caught up and get on the move, and then we feel overwhelmed. I know I have. I used to be super stressed out. Sometimes I still have to check myself, be like, look, you need to take a deep breath. You need to go for a walk, go to the gym, do whatever that is, okay? But whenever you have it built in to your routine, then you have to worry about it. Things are more smooth. You have to do it for yourself first, all right? Because we don't take care of ourselves, then everything else just kind of a little shaky, right? It's just a little shaky all over the place, all right? So having a good morning routine is good. My morning routine, I don't have an alarm clock. The time this recording, my son is 6, and you would think he has a job because this little boy be up at the crack of dawn, okay? These little kids, they want to be up. They don't want to miss nothing. So there's that. So he will always come wake me up. So I get up really early just off of that, all right? But if you don't have children, then, what time are you going to get up? You're going to get 5 o'clock. You're going to get up at 6. And if you need to get up an hour earlier, then that's what you got to do, all right? Structure that in. So if you would like to have an extra hour for yourself so that you can meditate, have your coffee, read, go in your planner, check yourself out, do whatever you need to do, then you need to get up an hour early. Because even though when you think about it, you might be like, man, she want me to get up an hour early. Why is she always coming at me with this stuff? What is it? It's going to benefit you, okay? You will love it and, give it a couple days or something like that. But it will benefit you so much because everything will, it will be less overwhelming if you have things more structured out. So you giving yourself, don't you feel good whenever you just do something for yourself? You just man. And then what you say, you'd be like, I should do this more often. And then sometimes you don't. You just get back in this routine of just shambleness. Shambleness. Is that a word? It's a word today. And then you have the potential that overwhelm creeping back in. So we want to have it a little bit more organized. When it's more organized, you actually have more time because it also helps you set boundaries. And women, we are not the best at boundaries sometimes, all right? Because we are nurturers. We care. And we just want to help everybody. Which we should want to help everybody. But at the same time, what we got to do, we got to help ourselves first. Period. Okay? This is what we got to do. And so doing this will help you be more organized. So time block in the morning, an extra hour of self-care. Then as a good sleep routine, good sleep hygiene. And I believe I have episode 18 where I talk about good sleep hygiene, just helping you get to sleep. Having a good hour before you go to bed. Look, you can give yourself 2 hours a day, morning, evening, and then do some stuff in the middle. If you need to take a walk during work, do that. It'll feel so good. Get outside, get some fresh air, get some vitamin D in there. Do what you got to do, all right? But you'll notice that you'll feel more organized and you'll have more time. It might not seem like it, but you will, because everything will be in its place, all right? And then know when you're going to cut everything else. Give yourself that boundary. Be like, and at 5, I'm going to stop. This goes to my family at this time. Do you need to delegate? Then delegate. Figure out what you need to do, all right? Figure that out. And something good you could do add in when you're doing that self-care, these places, when you're having in these routines, add in some good meditation, some good journaling. I talk about this because it has just helped me so much, all right? Doing meditations and journaling, it just helps bring you into a space of feeling centered. It helps that joy come up. It gets all that stress out. Man, just taking that time to yourself, because what happens? We think a lot sometimes and our mind is always racing. We have all these things to do. And then just giving that time to ourselves for 20 minutes, an hour, however long that is. If you're not used to meditating, start with 20 minutes or, start with 5 if you're like, I'm not ready for 20, and just work up, right? And then journal about it. I always say pray, meditate, and journal. Do those 3 things together and it's a win. Okay, it is a win in my book. And you will appreciate it. It can also help you sleep better, doing visualizations, and it's journaling, getting your thoughts out. Okay, so when you wake up in the morning, you could give yourself that hour that you're giving to yourself. Just sit there and journal about something. Anything, it doesn't matter what it is. There's no right and there's no wrong for any of these things, okay? It all depends on what you want. You can sit there and take some suggestions and then be like, well, I'm going to tweak it in this way so that it fits my life and how I want to live. And that's what you do, okay? So doing that, just getting it out and doing that meditation, talking to God, giving yourself that time with him, you'll just feel amazing. Don't you just feel happier, at that time? You just talking to him, you just getting it all out. Do that. Give yourself that time. Make that part of your self-care, right? And good nourishment. Making sure you have a good breakfast, whatever that is. So for you, maybe that's some oatmeal, maybe that's some avocado toast. I just love avocado, so I'm always throwing it in the conversation. And just moving your body. Movement. I always can tell, like I could hold stress. Do you ever hold stress in your back and your shoulders? I know I do. It does not feel good. I'd be like, why is this happening? Like, what is going on? This does not feel good. And sometimes I want to go run. Sometimes I want to lift weights. And sometimes I'd be like, you know what? It's not a gym day. I just need to do some yoga. I did that the other day. Sometimes I just feel like I'd be on my way to the gym or something like that. And I'll just have to stop, be like, my body is telling me I need to do some kind of yoga. Because you hold stress in your body, right? Your mind and that mind-body connection. Ooh, child, that is powerful, okay? But you just have to learn to listen to yourself. Don't second guess yourself. Sometimes, that intuition is talking to us, but we do not want to listen. Just listen, and it will just take you places. You begin signs sometimes and just be like, but I'm going to choose this door anyway, because we're always on our path. But we have free will. So God could be like, you need to go ahead and do this. And it is, but you like, but this looks so good over here. This is what I really want. And but you do that. And that's on you. But you always can go back. Always can go back. So just listening to your body, adding some movement in there, your good nutrition. And what I would love for you to do is to just write it down. When you write it down, it's one more step to it being real, right? In your face, write it down, putting it somewhere where you could see it, right? How are you going to show up for yourself, right? What do you need to do? How are you going to show up for yourself? Because I want you to show up for yourself because you sure enough deserve it. First and foremost, okay? Just know that and taking the steps to get it done. And then I want you to visualize it. Write it down and visualize it. Look, it's vision board season. Do you guys do vision boards? Look, that's why it's so powerful. It is there and you can look at it and be like, yes, I see it. I see it. Do that. Make a vision board. Visualize it. Put it out there. Meditate on it. And whatever boundaries that needs to happen, any healthy boundaries, also know that. Write that down, okay? Do whatever you need to do to implement this. And it was going to decrease the overwhelm and make it easier for you to maintain it. That's part of manifesting it, right? Putting it out there. You got to tell God what you want. And that's part of manifesting it. You got to have that joy, all these things in order to bring it to you. All right. And what are you telling yourself about it? Do you need to recreate any thought patterns? Because how we talk to ourselves really matters, okay? Or do you talk to yourself in a negative way? Sometimes people do that and you don't even realize it because maybe you're just used to beating yourself up. So just flipping that in a more positive way of talking. So instead of saying, I don't have time for this, I'm too tired, it kind of puts it into your spirit that you don't have time for it and you're tired. But instead, flipping it around and saying, it's not going to take long for me to do this self-care, to show my body some love, for me to carve out 20 minutes out of my day to work out, and an extra 30 minutes for me to make something to eat or even batch cook. I got this. It's not going to take me that long. Instead of being like, I don't have time for this. So then you're going to not make time for it because your mind is going to be like, okay, well, let me show her that she doesn't have time for it. Because our mind is going to go to work making whatever we feel true. So if you think you have time, then you're not going to have time. If you want to have time, then you will somehow figure out a way to get those extra 20 minutes in, or those extra 30 minutes, or whatever you need to do, or that extra hour, even if you need to adjust to it. Because a lot of times, sometimes it's hard in the beginning, right? When you're trying to break a pattern, there might be some resistance in there. You just have to get over that resistance. Sometimes you need some help in the process, and that's okay. So if you need somebody to help you through that, then that's okay. Somebody can help you through that, okay? Just figure out that thing. Just taking one day at a time, okay? Just one day at a time. Don't be like, I'm going to recreate my whole life in 2 days, because that might stress you out. You know what? It probably will stress you out for you to make. So just do one thing at a time, all right? That's why even in my program that's coming out in January, there is weekly live grouping coaching calls just to help you work through each process. We're going to go over something, then the lesson is going to be recorded. It's going to put in a portal for you to go back to and look at. But you also can come into the group and ask your questions. So throughout the course of the group, there's going to be support there. Support and community is always excellent. Being around people that have the like mind. I knew you've had to hear that before, and it really is powerful. It's real. Being around like-minded individuals that are on the same mission as you, it helps push you there. It's just being like, you can be like, man, I feel like home is really hard and my family's eating a certain way, but I really want to change. It's really hard. And it can be hard when you feel like you're doing it alone. It can be hard when you feel like, I wish I had a bigger support. They say they want to help and they support me, but I see them doing something completely different. So that's when that community and that support is going to be amazing. It's going to help you because there's going to be that resistance. And if you're not in an environment where you're getting that kind of support, then it'll be much easier for you to backtrack. And we're not trying to backtrack in 2022. We're trying to go full speed ahead. That's what we're trying to do. Trying to go full speed ahead. Okay. We are trying to go and we're going to get there and it's going to happen. All right. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. You probably like it's not simple, but it is. And tell yourself it's that simple. Don't tell yourself it's not that simple. Tell yourself, I got this and I'm going to get it done. So just knowing that you need to make that space. And you should try to write down. Is there something that you can delegate off to somebody else? Can you give that to somebody that you work with, a project or something small that you don't really need to oversee? Can you delegate that to somebody else? Or can somebody in your home help you out with something? Can they do one less thing to give you that space? Okay. And know that you are allowed to say no. No is a complete sentence. So don't feel obligated or guilty if you cannot take on something. If you have your time block set up and this hour is for you, if somebody wants you to do something in that hour, it's okay to say no. Even if it hurts in the beginning because you're not used to saying no, it's okay for you to say no. Give yourself permission to say no. But like, this is my time and I need you to respect that. Do you love me? Because I love myself and this is why I'm doing this. Okay? If that needs to happen, it needs to happen. Right? And being aware of what your triggers are, writing them down without any judgment to yourself. Okay? Because being aware of what is making you act a certain way, you might not even notice it. You might not notice that this thing that's happening is making you go sit down and not want to do anything, and it puts you in a funk. Being aware of certain things. So if you need to have a journal with you throughout the day and write down every single thing that you do that happens or that makes you upset or that sends you on a spiral, write that down. Do that for like a week or a couple of days, right? Try at least for 3 days. That's 3 days is a small amount of time. And if you can do the 3 days, then you might want to add on a couple extra days. Just writing that down so you can be aware of what's happening, all right? And asking God to help you with it, giving you a new perspective, and being able to release anything that is not serving you. Writing these triggers down and things that are happening, then looking at it and really evaluating it and being honest with yourself. Being honest with yourself at being like, I'm ready to look at myself, whether it's good and bad, and just putting it out there so that I can move forward with what my goals are, with what I want to manifest in my life, because I am ready to receive it. Okay. So then in order to receive it, you need to make space. And when you're making space, you need to release anything that is no longer serving you. Just get it out there. Ask yourself, where's this coming from? And how can I work on this belief? Right? You might not know where it's coming from. Do some meditations. See if it'll come up. Write down anything that comes up in your journal. Asking God to help you see where it's coming from. And sometimes you don't know something because you might not be ready. And that's okay. You don't have to rush any feelings that you're not ready to receive. Knowing what you can allow. But you do want to try to let your feelings come out. Finding a way to deal with it. Finding a way to deal with your stress and your emotions definitely helps that topic of stress eating and emotional eating. Just being able to release it. Being aware of where it's coming from. But giving your time to work through the process. You don't have to push yourself through trauma. But you do want to work on it, right? One day at a time. If you need to talk to a therapist, that's great. You need to talk to a coach, that's great. A loved one. Whatever that is going to help you work through that. Instead of just holding it in. You don't have to hold it in any longer. You can give yourself the permission to work on it and let it go. And you can ask yourself, what will this do for me? Right? So what will this do for you? How will this benefit your life? And you can ask yourself these questions. You can write it down on your journal. What will this do for me? How will this benefit my life? How will this feel when I work through what's going on? When I set these routines in place, right? When I give myself this space to set these routines. How is this going to help me? Right? And write it down. Be like, I will feel better. I will feel more relaxed. I will feel less stressed. I will make time for my self-care so I can take care of myself. Maybe you find yourself getting snappy because you're tired or you just feel overworked or whatever it is. And giving yourself this time block for your self-care will help that, right? It'll help release all of that. Just give it time. Be like, how will this benefit my life? So giving yourself the permission to just work through that, just to heal, just to allow yourself to love yourself, love your body, all of these things, right? Because January 2022 is about to be here real quick and you want to be ready. So writing down all these things, just journaling about them, everything. Keep it simple. Just keeping it simple, all right? You don't have to get complicated or anything like that. Sometimes when you get complicated, you just don't want to do anything at all. You just be like, I'm done with this. So just, write down some things and just have fun with it. Smile. You always want to bring joy into the situation. It makes it better. You want to laugh, just love life. It makes you more apt to do something when you attach joy to it. When you're just unhappy, you want to avoid it at all times. You ever just meet somebody and you just don't have the best energy? You don't want to be around them. And the same is for you. So just bring joy into the conversation, into your life, making sure you do those things. All right. And so I hope that helped you guys. And in January, Total Wellbeing Academy will be officially open for enrollment on January 3rd. And we're going to have live group coaching weekly and just being able to go over nutrition, but focus more on plant-based nutrition, which you knew that was going to come. And because plant-based nutrition will help you lose that weight naturally and help you reverse those chronic diseases, all those health conditions that's going on. It is the way. So we're going to go over plant-based eating. And some people come off of medication when I've worked with them. It is so joyous to see. Also going to be working on stress techniques, things to relieve stress, because it's such a big thing. Because I've dealt with so much stress. And so meditations and just different techniques and things of that nature. And so I cannot wait. I'm super excited about it. So it officially opens January 3rd. And then, we're going to do the live coaching. And even though the recordings are live, I'm going to store those in a portal so that you guys can rewatch them. And then you have the program for the lifetime access of it. So even as I add things on over time, you'll have access to all the things. All right. As clean eating recipes, there's going to be the community for support in a private group for you guys to all get to know each other, bring a little wellness family. It's because, it can be hard. I know it can. Right. So what I would love for you to do is to go register for the waitlist over there. And you go to clarissabooker.com/TWA. clarissabooker.com/TWA. I cannot wait to see you guys there. And don't forget to leave a written review, because I so love them. I love to read them. And it helps other people too. All right. Well, until next time. Bye.
Did you like my morning show? Leave a review. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for coming by. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a written review. Until next time, love and light.